Friday, the House passed House Bill 1906, which temporarily increases unemployment benefits by $45 per week. Would you please tell us why you voted for this bill?
Well, the unemployment insurance bill that we passed last week is probably one of the most significant pieces of legislature we will do all session. You know, economists on both sides, from the left, from the right, and in the middle, have told us there's a few things that we can do to stimulate our economy in these troubled times. The first one is to increase our food stamps, and the federal government is working on that. But the piece that we can do, because we've prepared and we're ready, is we can increase the dollars on people's unemployment insurance checks. We have one of the most healthy funds in the nation for our insurance benefits. So we can afford to take some of the money out of our fund and still keep it very solvent for times to come and be able to give people money. Now, the trick with uninsurance employment benefits is that folks are going to spend that money. And you know, $45 may not seem like much, but when you're sort of living on the edge on unemployment, it can mean the difference between being able to buy groceries or not, to keep the lights on or not, and to put gas in the car or not. So I think this is a really important bill that will help all of us as we go through this troubled times. I know many people are losing their jobs. I have friends that have come up to me in the last few weeks, family members who have come up to me and said they're concerned, and I think this is one of the most important things we could do here this year in our legislative session.
You've introduced House Bill 1596, which protects a woman's right to breastfeed in public. Why did you decide to sponsor this bill?
Well, I've actually been working on this bill for several years, but many women in our state have been working on this bill for a much longer period of time. We actually have a law on the books that states that breastfeeding is not considered indecent exposure. So in other words, you're allowed to breastfeed and not be arrested. But what it doesn't do is protect people from being asked to leave or to cover up. And in our testimony on this bill, we had women who talked about being asked to leave a public swimming pool, restaurants, libraries, malls, or being asked to cover up when they breastfeed. Now, here's the problem. Breastfeeding, as we know, is the most important thing we can do for babies in their first year of life. It's the best food. We've created some formulas that come close, but breastfeeding is the best. And in our statistics, we see that women, for the most part, breastfeed in the first 2 months of life, but after 2 months, things drop dramatically. And we want to be able to support women to breastfeed for the entire first 12 months of their infant's life. Now, the reason for the drop-off is a couple of reasons. One is women go back to work, and sometimes employers aren't helpful in helping women feel supported breastfeeding. And then, you know, as you might have seen from some public talk on this bill in the newspaper and on blogs and such, there's been some rude comments about breastfeeding. And, you know, we want to be able to put it forward that a woman should be as comfortable sitting down to breastfeed her child as she would be sitting down to take a bottle out of her diaper bag to breastfeed her child. And this bill will push that forward. Sometimes our culture needs a kickstart in the pants, and I think this bill will do that to help women to feel supported and comfortable in breastfeeding.